Hello and welcome back to another Warframe video, and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of the entire dojo of the Blood Moon Knights. I'm Kay Eldrin, the founding warlord of the Blood Moon Knights, or as I like to call myself, the Clan Keeper. So, to begin with, this is the grandest hall of the dojo. And I'd like to mention for a moment that if you are new to the clan, hello and welcome, and thank you very much for joining the Blood Moon Knights. I'm glad to have you. This tour is the official submission for the Dojo Remastered contest that is going on with DE right now, so we've put a lot of time and effort, myself and a lot of clan members, to get all of the resources to build everything you're about to see. So, as you saw there, this place is absolutely massive. We're shooting for 1,000 members, but currently our clan is rank 9 at a mountain tier for the moment. Until we get enough players in here, our current cap is 300. Once we reach that, we're going to shoot for 1,000. But we are currently at 134 people. So to all of them, I'd like to say thank you very much, because without their help and contributions, none of this would have been possible. So, big shout out to them. Thank you so much to all my clan members who have helped make this dojo what it is. Let's go ahead and start the tour. So, as I mentioned, this is the grandest hall. And we have transporters located all throughout the dojo. All of the important rooms that you need to get to or have access to quickly have a transporter in them. But we're not really going to be using that, as, well, that would kind of shorten the tour now, wouldn't it? But over here, we have one of our trade stations, which are located on the right-hand side of the dojo, in both the grandest and greater halls, as you'll see. Vault over here. And the whole theme of the dojo is kind of more of an abstract feel, I'd say, but let me know your thoughts. We'll kind of go over what's down below us in a little bit. I figured the easiest way to probably start this off, besides what's here, is probably go top to bottom. Now, I should mention there are 3 floors to this dojo, but don't worry, the other 2 are a lot smaller, I promise. So let's go ahead and make our way to the custom obstacle course. Oh, and I'm probably going to need my Warframe for this one. I don't think I can jump up through there. So, here's our obstacle course. It's currently a little bit of a work in progress, but it's a good challenge, and floor is lava, so everybody is welcome to come in and try their hand at it. It's a bit crazy, but I don't know, I like it. It's a good challenge. A lot of people slip up on the blocks, apparently. But for the 3rd floor, this is pretty much the primary reactor of the dojo, and was kind of the only spot that I had to put such a massive room. Although I could expand the dojo off the sides on the 1st floor. But all of these rooms that we're seeing on either side of us are just reactors. So this is where all the power pretty much comes from, is this floor. There's also a transporter here for the center of the reactor halls. Southern end is capped by yet another reactor. Surprise, surprise. And over here we have elevator access. In just a moment, door will open and take us down to the 2nd floor. Like I say, I like these elevators. I'm gonna stare down through the center, but it never goes all the way down. Anyway, moving on to the 2nd floor, we come into the first temple of the dojo. Kind of our grand temple, in a way. It's very nice. We have a little shrine up here. A little Buddha shrine. And adjacent of the elevator, we have our first dueling room. Kind of more of the ceremonial quote-unquote dueling room. There are 2 other sparring rooms downstairs, They have a slightly different layout. And then to the north here of the temple, we have the regular obstacle course. And as you saw, past in the hallway, we have a transporter that puts you pretty much right outside the door, so you can get to it via the transporter very quickly and easily. Anyway, moving on to the south of the temple, which I should also quickly mention, we have temple transporter. But to the south of said temple, we have the laboratory halls. This is basically every lab that you can have in the dojo, all kind of crammed into one neat little space. We've got our Oricon lab here to the upper right. This is technically the third lab hall, but they're all identical, all nicely schemed. And over here, third hall to the left, energy lab. Very nice. And there's also other labs down on the first floor, which we'll get to. But in case you want to have access to this area of the dojo, we do have the lab halls transporter, excuse me. And we also have transporters that go to every individual lab, with the biological, chemical, energy, and tenno labs being also on the first floor. We have duplicates. And for power up here on the second floor, for pretty much just the labs, we got a personal reactor. Just for the labs. Oh, somebody put in some hanging vines. Alright. So up here we got chemical lab. And then further south in Lab Hall 1. To the left we have Biolab. And then Tenolab. I'd also like to point out something real quick, since hopefully DE, the display that comes up here for your pigment researches, this doesn't come up in the downstairs one, and I'll point that out in a little bit. I just kind of wanted to make note of that. Like, I think it should appear in both, but as you'll see. We have an elevator here on the very southern end of the dojo. And this was pretty much the first elevator to go in, obviously, and then we built up from there. But from here, we come into the mammoth of a first floor. Now this is where everybody starts to go, oh no, but don't worry. It's very easy to traverse. We put in plenty of transporters. But the best room in the dojo, to begin with, in my opinion here, for the first floor, is the game room. So yes, we have a Ludoplex. That means if you guys have these two games, you don't even need the Ludoplex. You can just pop into the dojo and play them here. So we got a nice game room with lounge and the fridge over there, which we'll get to in just a second. But this was put together with a lot of help from a lot of tenno, so thank you guys so much for making this awesome and possible. But yes, we also have an industrial fridge with an industrial ice maker. The frost machine, as it be. So I'm big ice maker up there, since, you know, we're gonna have 1,000 people in here, so ice dispenser comes out there, and you got a nice big fridge, you know, decent sized freezer there. Hey, corpus deck, you gotta love it. Anyway, moving on. Across from the game room, otherwise known as the Oracle, which does have a transporter in there over by the fridge, we have the Southern Observatory. Now, each observatory does have a transporter in it on the opposite side of the nav panel here. There we go. And we have a special shrine out here for the Southern Observatory specifically. We call it the Space Shrine. Do not fall off the edge. For the love of Warframe, don't fall off the edge. It crashes your game. I'm not kidding. Like, you may be able to run around for a little while, but it'll crash eventually. But yeah, we got a nice little golden shrine out here. I found a way to get outside of the normal boundaries of the room. But yeah, once you pop back in, you're back in. So, it's relatively safe. As long as you don't fall off. So from here, without using the transporters, so we can continue the tour. So tempted to use them, because they're just so convenient. But no, we're moving into the first clan hall, or just kind of what's known as clan hall. It's the very first room that you get when you start your own dojo, when you start your own clan. And everything that you've seen thus far has come starting from this room. So every room off of this one has cost time and resources. And it wasn't easy. But a lot of people helped make this possible. So in successive order and increasing stature of halls for the clan, we go from Clan Hall into the Great Hall. Just kind of just a nice little nature walk sort of idea. Got a bunch of gardens and some grass, a couple floating rocks. Got the nice cherry trees growing out of the ceiling. Moving from the Great Hall to the Greater Hall, which is essentially Spawn Hall for all intents and purposes. We have quite the decoration here. Let me turn off the overlay. So we got a nice Buddha shrine in here. A couple clan members have added some statues. And as I mentioned before, on the right hand side of the dojo, we have our trade station. And then across the room we have the clan vault, which is just past our ascension shrine here. And there is an ascension shrine in the grandest hall, as you saw. But this is the clan vault station. If we did make these transporter pads, I'm pretty sure that would work. Worst case, I can just move them right in front of the thing, or off to the side. But these actually work as kind of an impromptu sign. I like it. So from here, we've kind of added some Grenier catwalk, just adding a little raised section around the dojo so you can, I don't know, just kind of go for a walk. Enjoy the scenery. This room, I think, it's definitely taken almost the most resources. The next room's pretty extravagant as well, at least in my opinion. But we have a giant golden subwoofer, which is essentially our music shrine. So you can come in, ring bells, bang on the drums all you want. Yes. But as you can see, it's essentially a giant speaker. Is the idea there. So yeah, that's Spawn Hall, aka the Greater Hall, if you look for it in the transporter list. Moving on from here, you'll probably notice a few decorations are still either in process of building or have already, had the things donated to them, so they're pretty much done, or they're just waiting for a little more. But the vast majority of it is complete. Ah, yes. Trying to incorporate a little bit of nature into every room. I like trees. Let's go with that. So we've added kind of, these are like communications computers, I would imagine. So we got 5 on either side. So I'd imagine a few people being able to, you know, make interstellar calls and kind of use these command centers for whatever they need, electronics-wise. Plugs into the various networks of the galaxy. Then we have our first clan, well, technically not the first, but the first since I've opened it up to more than 10 people statue for the recent Plague Star event. We managed to pull through with a bronze on that one. I think it makes a really nice torch. Then we got our nice Volcano Fountain over here. Wonderful. It's a good piece of art there. And from down below, it's kind of a nice, relaxing area. Kind of big loungy areas. As we come into here. A little more foggy in this one. We got several fountains, a lot of seating, a nice central fountain with a little Buddha. As you saw, all the stuff up top here, the Ascension Shrine, as I mentioned earlier. And from here, we're actually going to go ahead and deflect left. Now I'm going to bring you guys through the small gardens. I'd like to mention, there's not going to be any decorations so much for the small gardens. Only because I'm leaving these rooms blank for all of the other members of the clan to decorate. So you guys are welcome to freely decorate these rooms as you please, although, you know, keep it tasteful. The rooms off the ends here are just more reactors, kind of help. These are like backup generators, so to speak. But off of the sides of the grandest and grand halls, we have the small gardens which give way into the barracks on either side. The grand hall has the barracks on either side, and the grandest actually has the two spying rooms on either side of it, which have a slightly different scheme than the one upstairs. We actually have a few walls that you can kind of duck and cover behind when you're dueling. I've thought about adding a few more things, maybe a floating platform or two. I don't know, more for the future perhaps. But we have identical dueling rooms on either side. And north of those, I'm actually going to go across here, just show a little bit of a different garden, because there's a lot of water gardens. And I think there's 2 sand ones and this one autumn garden. But all of these small gardens are free for all of the clan members to decorate. Now moving from here, I have connective hallways as you saw there, that go basically from the grandest hall through one of the uppermost small gardens to the outermost large gardens, which all terminate in an observatory. So the reason why they terminate in observatories is it's a rather nice room, but it also serves a purpose in the sense of you can change your arsenal and queue for missions in here. Now the east and west observatories really aren't all that fancy. Not so much for the north one either. They don't have the space shrine or anything, but they all connect to these wonderful large gardens, which have definitely taken a lot of time and effort. But I mean, I'll admit, sometimes I just kind of wander through the dojo and admire some of the scenes that we were able to create here. But we're just going to move across, going from east to west. And some of the bamboo is still building. But this is amazing. We have one of every large garden and one of every small garden as well. So this is one of the nicest spots in the dojo, I think. Just the sound of water. And a nice tree. Continuing on, this comes into the central large garden. So you could either turn north, head towards the northern observatory, or stay west, which we will. Head to the west observatory. Continue to pass through yet another large garden. So still waiting on those trees to build, but I believe those were going to be cherry trees. so I might have to redo this video in the future, especially once we have more decorations added. And then we have the autumn large garden in here. A bit of Ruck's Claw. Livens up the place, you know. And then West Observatory, so... yeah, again, nothing too fancy in here. At least not yet. We might do more with these rooms in the future. But for now, keep it simple, keep it nice. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have duplicate labs for pretty much most of the labs in the downstairs areas. So heading north from the westmost large garden, we have the Tenno Lab, and this is kind of where I wanted to touch upon the that display. Where is it? I mean, yeah, I don't think you guys technically expected players to have multiple labs, or well, multiples of the same lab in their dojo. So, I forgive you, but is it possible to make it appear in both? That would be awesome. Thank you. So, moving on, one of the other connective rooms that I decided to use to kind of tie all of this together is the temples. So we have a port side temple and a starboard side temple. This is the port side. And there's not really too much going on in here. We've got a bell and some fountains. Still gotta decorate it a bit more, but I gotta figure out what I want to put in here. I think I'm gonna make these more, maybe if I add some benches perhaps, make them more of a social area. Go to the north of the port temple, or left side temple, whichever you'd like to call it. We have the downstairs biolab, and these rooms, these labs, are the ones that have the transporters. So you can use these to get around. Now, while this does connect into the upper large garden, I'm actually going to go back down and cut across so you guys can see this northern garden, which is probably one of the most calming gardens, if not the most calming garden in the dojo. Yeah. I do have to give DE props for their soundtracks. Their audio is just phenomenal. Anyway, enough fanboying. Moving on. Basically the same color scheme. And same sort of layout. Fountains and a nice bell. Everybody loves bell. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Found the bell spot. Okay. Moving on. To the north. We got our chemical lab for the downstairs. And we've actually done a little bit of decorating in this one. Got our flag, got some cargo coming in, going out. Got a couple crates over here. Got our banners all over the place. Nice big Orkin display. And we do have all the researches. So if you guys are worried about researches, we got the researches. Now from here, yeah, you know, I could just poof over into the energy lab. I think we will. Because convenience. And so you guys can see what it looks like. So this is the downstairs energy lab. Not so much decoration-wise in here. Color scheme is slightly different. Floor color is a little bit different. I think the upstairs one's a little more of a teal. But yeah, we have the new stuff currently cooking. So, all researches as I mentioned. We have a massive dojo. If you guys are MR3 or higher and active, we also have a Discord. The link of which I will leave down below. And let's actually we're going to go ahead and pop back to the chemical lab real quick and show you guys the last large garden before we hop into the North Observatory and end the tour. So we have a nice little volcano fountain in here amongst our alien flora. Almost said fauna. Flora. Although, I mean, some of these plants might not be plants, you know? Anyway. So we get a volcano fountain, and I think once all of these complete, this will look very, very nice. It's almost like a bunch of frogs or something are expected to live here on the lily pad. But it looks good. I think it's definitely coming along nicely. I can't wait to add more to it in the future. The dojo is constantly evolving and growing member-wise. I hope you guys have enjoyed this bit of Warframe. I hope you've enjoyed the tour. And as I mentioned, if you guys are Mastery Rank 3 or higher, and you're an active player and looking to find Tenno helping Tenno, then come join the Blood Moon Knights. We are always welcome and open to new members, so if this is also you're watching this for the sake of you've just joined the clan, thank you very much for sticking it out to the end of this, everybody, and welcome to the clan, new members. So we're glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, have a fantastic rest of your days, happy farming, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye everybody. Oh hey, before you go, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell so you guys can be notified the next time we post a new video. And don't forget to check out the Discord so you guys can be notified when we go live posting videos, as well as stay up to date with the latest streaming schedule. And check out some of those other affiliated links. Thanks for watching.